said judges.
Yeah, Job. Yeah,
You said
Job.
Job
Yeah,
or judges?
Job. Job. This is what I meant to say. Corral, you can get it. So like, yeah, we should be live. Let me check it, bro. Yeah, we good. All right. Let me go back. All right. First and foremost, we'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to how double honors to the apostles and LGMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessing salutation to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners that have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Shai. All right, we're GMS, Mississippi, / Memphis, and we're going to go into, history, dealing with the vacant elite. All right, because as we know, as the scriptures say, how the earth was given into the hand of the wicked, and when you get into the specifics, all right, the chief, of the house of Esau, Edom, all right, are these elite banking families of the tribe of Amalek, so we're going to get, that Job 9-24, and then we're going to go into some history, we're going to get some more scriptures to expound, Lord will, you brothers, and you few sisters are edified. All right, so let's get that Job 9:24.
This is Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked.
Yep.
He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
Yep. So the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Now, let's get that word hand in the Greek. Because if something is in your hand, that means you're in full control. Like you drive a car, all right, you really control the whole car, with your hand. You control the direction of that car with your hand. Well, this man, controls the direction of the earth, man. Because the earth was given into his hand, into his control. Now, the Hebrew word for hand, all right, is yad in the Hebrew word yad, and it says of strength, of power. You see? So this man has, power, all right, over the earth, man. You see, this man has a lot of power and influence, over the earth, man. And he has did it, by constantly moving up the ranks and infiltrating, all, facets of society. Now, let's get into the article, unless y'all brothers had anything. All right, so we'll get into the article. Now, this is the history, all right, of the House of Rothschild. Now we're gonna jump around, all right, because it got a little bones in it, but it's a good article, and it walks down the timeline. Now it says the history of the House of Rothschild. It said the Rothschild had been in control of the world, all right, going back into what? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. It said the Rothschild has been in control of the world for a very long time. Their tentacles reaching into many aspects of our daily lives, as is documented in the following timeline. However, before you jump to the timeline, please read the invaluable introduction, which will tell you who the Rothschilds are as opposed to who they claim to be. The Rothschilds claim that they are Jewish when in fact they are Khazars. They are from a country called Khazaria, which occupied the land locked between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. You know, that's where you get the close to the Caucasus, all right, mountains, you know, and that's where you get the term Caucasian, you know, and said which is now predominantly occupied by Georgia. The reason the Rothschild claim to be Jewish is that the Khazars, under the instruction of the king, converted to the Jewish faith in 740 AD. But of course, that did not include, you know, well, they go off on that. But, you know, they started practicing what they call Judaism, you know, around 740 AD, you know. And then what happened over time as the banking elites, you know, became more and more wealthy, you know, they was able to make moves leading all the way up to 1948, you know, when they was able to place themselves in the land, you know, because, you know, they had so much control, you know, of affairs in the earth, you know, that they was put themselves in power to where they was even able to, you know, just claim to be us and put themselves in our land, man, you know. So, I go to the timeline. Y'all brothers had anything?
Yeah, I got a preset.
Okay, come bring it out, bro.
This is Psalms 50 and 16. It says, But
Yep.
unto the wicked the Most High saith, What hast thou to do to declare my statutes? Or that
Yep.
thou shouldest take my covenant in my mouth?
Yep.
Seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee.
Yep. And this ain't the first time, you know, that these Edomites, you know, have you know, pretended, you know, to be us, you know, because you really gotta go back, you know, to the Herodian dynasty. You see, and that's why Yahushua, you know, he called Herod a fox, you know, because a fox is a crafty animal, you know, and it'll steal like another animal kill something, you know, and a fox, you know, come steal it. So he called Herod a fox, you know, because he knew Herod, you know, was an imposter on the throne. He knew he was an Edomite, man, you know. So when you go to, matter of fact, we'll get it. I think it's in the book of Luke. Let me find exactly where it's at. Yeah, get get Luke 13 and 31. You know, because Esau has been being an apostle for a long time, man. You know, even going back to the time where Yahushua. Go ahead.
It's Luke 13 and 31. The same
Yep.
day there came some of the Pharisees, saying unto him, Get thee out and depart hence, for Herod will kill thee.
Yeah, so you had a coon nigga, all right, come to Yahushua, you know, telling he really wanted Yahushua to stop his ministry, and then he threw out like Herod gonna kill you, man. You know, and this is what Yahushua, you know, said to that coon nigga, man. Go ahead.
Verse 32. And he said unto them, Go ye and tell that fox, Behold, I cast out devils, and I do cures today and tomorrow. And the third day I should be perfected.
Yeah, so you know, he sent a message back, you know, by that coon nigga. You know, you go tell that fox, man. You know, he was throwing a shot at Herod, man, because he knew, you know, because Herod was calling himself the king of you know, the Jews. Then you had, you know, he had a few, you know, Israelite women as wives, you know. So he's, you know, an imposter, man, posting up, you know, like he's a real king of Israel, man. And also, Yahushua just threw that shot, you know, to that guy, man. You know that you were an imposter, man. You know. So they've been doing that, you know, way before, you know, the Renaissance era, you know, the post-Renaissance era, you know, they've been doing that, man. You know, trying to keep the law and, you know, really not keeping the law, but just giving it their persona, just giving out their persona, you know, like they was us, man, like they was of the royal class of Israel, man.
Yeah,
you know?
because King Herod was appointed king of Judea, by the power of the Roman Empire. Just
Yep,
like
by Pompey. Yep.
yeah, just like these Israelis today, they're only appointed, the Jewish people by the way of the Zionist movement, which
Yep.
is basically backed by American military, which is
Yep.
modern day Rome. So
Come,
it's
come,
the same shit, different air freshener.
come. Hey, that's a beautiful parallel, Hey, because just like, because America became a superpower after World War II, and that's when those gutter rats were taking their land after World War II. And just like when you go back, the Roman Empire, they became an empire, during the times of Pompey, and Julius Caesar. See, during the time of Pompey, like you said, Pompey is the one who put, Herod, the son of Antipater, the first Herod, is over Judea. But Pompey took over Judea and made Judea a province of Rome. You see? So it's the same, like you say, it's the same thing, same people, same place, So any brother had anything else? I'm gonna go back into it.
Come.
I had a quick one.
Go ahead, y'all can bring it up.
This Revelation 2:9, it says, I know thy work and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the
Yep.
synagogue of Satan.
Yep, and we know originally, that context was speaking of, wicked Jake, during that time period. But see, like the scriptures say, how wisdom is manifold, that scripture comes back around, to speak on, these fake, all right, these fake people, claiming to be us, man. So at the end of the day, all right, Esau is called out in every time period. He can't escape, who he is, and he can't, pretend to be us. No, the Bible calls this man out, man. Anybody had anything else?
Yeah, I got a quick one. Real quick. This Ecclesiastes 1:9. The thing that had been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there's no new thing under the sun.
You break it down, bro.
That's going in what the brothers are was saying, same shit, different air freshener, the same spirit's coming back, like this is saying history repeat itself because the same spirit's coming back, in their lot.
Yep. So, what we're gonna do? We're gonna jump to the timeline. We're gonna start at 7:43. All right. I want to get this quote real quick. Now, when you go to 1743, now this is Mayor Amschel Bauer. Now we went to that word Bauer, which is a German word for peasant. When you go into the word Bauer, that means a German word for peasant. Matter of fact, real quick, you can get Ecclesiastes 10 and 5. Read through 7. But that word Bauer, is a German word which means peasant, a farmer, because these devils and the Most High shows his power are raising these damn peasants up and putting them, in power and having rule over the earth, man. You got it, bro.
This is Ecclesiastes 10 and 5. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceeded from the ruler.
Yep.
Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich is set in low places. I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth.
Yep. So going back to that word Bauer, which means peasant, but this man is in power, which that's symbolic of him on the horse, You know, this man has came into power, you know, through prophecy. All right. But the scriptures say how, you know, it was an error. It was an error that this man is in power. And that's why everything is so out of whack, man, because you have someone who's not worthy, you know, to be a ruler, who's not fit to be a ruler in power. You know, and the true rulers are servants now, you know. But that was part of our punishment, you know, for going off, man, and breaking that covenant, man. You know, and he used peasants, you know, to punish us, man. You know? So let's go back to the article. So going back into it, since 1743, it says Mayor Amschel Bauer, an Ashkenazi Jew, is born in Frankfurt, Germany, the son of Moses Amschel Bauer, a money lender and the proprietor of the counting house. Yeah, so you know, these banking families, you know, they started out, you know, just being the neighborhood, you know, loan shark, really, you know, in Germany. All right, they were just local loan sharks, you know, but this what we see today is what they grew into. All right, so and it says Moses Amschel Bauer placed a red sign above the entrance door to his counting house. This sign is a red hexagram, which geometrically and numerically, all right, translating to the number 666, which under Rothschild instruction will end up on the Israeli flag some 2 centuries later. You know, so you see how this number 666 is always attached, you know, to this man. All right, because we know this is the family that finances this beast system. All right, this is the financial family, all right, who will implement, all right, this MOB, and you see how, you know, the Most High played it, because the mark of the beast you won't be able to buy, you know, or sell. All right, and wouldn't it make sense that the bankers would be over that, you know, of buying and selling, because they control, you know, the currencies now. All right. You think they're not going to control, all right, their mark, you know? Now, this is 1953. It says Goto Snapper, an Ashkenazi Jew, future wife of Mayor Amschel Bauer, born to respected merchant Wolf Salman Schnapper. It said during this decade, Mayor Amschel Bauer works for a bank owned by the Oppenheimers, you know, which we know they're part of that elite, you know, 1%, you know, family, you know, the Oppenheimers. So these people, you know, have been in cahoots, you know, for centuries, man, you know, and their grip has become more and more firm in the earth, you know, as time has passed. It said he is highly successful and becomes a junior partner. While working at the bank, he becomes acquainted with General von Estock. Following his father's death, Bauer returns to Frankfurt to take over his father's business. Bauer recognizes the significance of the red hexagram and changes his name from Bauer to Rothschild. So it was Mayor Amschel Bauer. All right, he was the first one, you know, to change his name, you know, to Rothschild. You know, he was the first one, all right, that started, you know, their brand, you know, Rothschild. So, reading on, you know, which goes to Red Shield, you know, which is how we know it's Edom, all right, and Edom in the Hebrew Adawam, you know, which is red, all right, and it says, it says now Mayor Amschel Rothschild, he discovers that General von Estorff is now attached to the court of Prince William, all right, the 11th of Hesse-Hunna. It says one of the richest royal houses in Europe, which gained its wealth by the hiring out of Hessian soldiers to foreign countries for vast profits, a practice that continues today in the form of exporting peacekeeping troops throughout the world. Yeah, because a lot of times when you see American troops, dispatched, throughout the earth, they're doing the bidding of the bankers. You see, the bankers own, majority of the militaries in the earth, because these militaries had to be, clothed, fed, equipped, with weaponry, and see the elites fund a lot of these things, man. So a lot of times when you see troops in Iraq, because if you are part of that upper echelon, you within that circle, you can pay to have troops in the area for your agenda. Let's say you one of those men up top and you got a pipeline, that you trying to run, through a certain area. Well, you can rent out American troops, to come to that region, all right, to destabilize it, all right, in the name of fighting terrorism. And then, they'll so-called, come and bring the peace, but really they just occupying that territory so you can, get your pipeline through or whatever you trying to set up, So it's the same thing going on today, The brothers have anything?
Yeah, I got something.
Okay, come. You get yours, and then now you get yours. You got it, bro.
This is Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he hath destroyed thee. And like you're going into, like even if you were able to climb the ranks and be able to rent out a military service to occupy a land to build a pipeline, like you're still doing the bidding for him. Like you can even if you were climbed up the entrepreneurial ranks and were to take out loans and build businesses, you're still doing your enemies a favor by making that currency stronger by paying all these employees with his currency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't escape it, carnally. The Most High gave this man, this power in the earth, so the elect will understand that there's no way out, outside, of Yahushua. That's why Yahushua said, I'm the truth, the way, and the life. He was talking about this scenario that we in now, What you got, Anna?
I got two quick ones.
All right.
The first one is Psalms 58 and 2. Yeah, in heart you work wickedness. You weight the balance of your hands on the earth.
Yep.
And this
balance of his hands in the earth. Going back to his power. This man has power in. He has a global reach of his power. No empire, all right, has ever had this much control. Of the globe. This man, it reaches around the globe, man. And I always say the mask is the biggest indicator, man. This man put out a decree for people to wear masks, and that was a global decree. Every country had to comply, to the mask thing. And you seen all the leaders of these different nations and see all these people you seen with masks, these leaders and things, they were showing that they're in they was subjugated to the elites, man. Their servitude to the elites, man. You got it, bro.
It's Micah 2 and 2. Let's start at 1. Micah 2 and 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand.
Yep. It's in the power of their hand. Going back to what? The earth is giving it to what? The hand of the wicked. All right. This man controls, every aspect, of society, man. Which we're gonna read more into it. You have some more in there, bro?
Yeah, one more verse.
So
it said, and they cover fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why you have to pay something called a 15-year or 30-year loan. You know, that's basically like a financial lease on your own house. You know, you put that down payment down, but you know, the bank still owns your fucking house until that's paid off, and it usually takes what 15 or 30 years. And even by then, you're looking to sell it before then, anyways.
Or you did.
Yeah, that's how he oppresses you in your own land to this day, man. I got something else. This is Psalm 55:21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
Yeah. And this man, you know, he loves to come to these countries as if, you know, he's trying to make, you know, some type of arrangement, you know, where that country benefits, man. But this man profits, all right, and rules by putting everyone in debt, you know, and which, like I say, this is gonna I'm gonna read on, is gonna go into it. So back in the article, it says, now Mayor Amshar Rothschild, now it's like this is the next paragraph. It said he therefore makes the general reacquaintance, all right, on the pretext of selling him valuable coins and trinkets at discount prices. As he plans, Rothschild is subsequently introduced to Prince William himself, who is more than pleased with discounted prices he charges for his rare coins and trinkets, and Rothschild offers him a bonus for any other business the prince can direct his way. Yeah, so you know, just like you had your guy Haman, you know, move up, you know, in the ranks, you know, of the Persian Empire. You know, that's pretty much how these elites did. You know, they, you know, acquainted themselves with all these different nobilities and monarchs, you know, of the earth, you know, and eventually they supplanted all those monarchs, man, because a lot of these monarchs don't exist anymore. You know, all you have really now is the Queen of Britain, which she's subjugated to them, and then come to find out, man, she, you know, they still rule over America, man. You know, so when you get dealing with these elites, man, these guys are really extremely crafty, man. You know, and it says and they had the finances to do so, and it says Rothschild subsequently becomes close associate with Prince William and ends up doing business with him and members of the court. He soon discovers that loaning money to governments and royalty is more profitable than loaning to individuals, as the loans are bigger and secured by the nation's taxes. And who pays taxes? The people. So what they do is they buy governments. And if they buy the government now, the taxes that you pay your government is going directly to them. You know? So this is how this man, you know, has heaped up, you know, all nations unto himself, man, through debt. All right, because when you go to you get that real quick in the book of, all right, I think it's Proverbs 20. I'll read real quick. This is Proverbs 22:7. It said, the rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. You know? So when you look at your check, you see those $200 or $300, you know, taxes coming out, you know, that's going to the elites. Because if America is trillion in debt, who are they in debt? You know? And what's that debt being paid by? The taxes, man. So all these nations that are in debt, you know, let me look it up and see. You know, every nation that's in debt, who are they in debt to? You know? See if I look it up. Y'all brothers had some.
I got a precept.
Okay, come on with it, Karak.
This is Sirach chapter 12, verse 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagine how to throw thee into a pit, and he will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he would not be satisfied with blood.
You break it down, bro.
That's basically going into what you going into about the depths. You know, all those ain't nothing but traps that, you know, that he can use to, you know, basically throw you into a pit to get you caught up.
Con. So when I'm trying to look it up real quick, and it says, yeah, everybody in debt. They say it's only one country, but they don't say what country it is. It's not in debt. But it said there's only one debt-free country as per the IMF database. For many countries, the unusually low national debt could be due failing to report actual figures to the IMF, which is international, you know, money. But as I'm looking, they don't even say what country that is, so nigga might just say something. But I'm looking at the debt, you know, just for example, you got Australia, you know, they 1.3 trillion in debt. All right. You got Austria, you know, they $422 billion in debt. You got Belgium, they're $510 billion in debt. Brazil, they 2 trillion in debt. Bulgaria, they're 57 billion in debt. Canada is 1.4 trillion in debt. China, they 11 trillion in debt. You know, Colombia, they $277 billion in debt. You know, and the list goes on. Germany, they 4 trillion in debt. All right. India, they 2.2 trillion. All right. So even the land of Israel, they 316 billion in debt. Italy, 2 trillion in debt. You know, and then you know America 19. You know, 19 trillion in debt. But yeah, it's every nation, man. So going back to Proverbs 22:7, it said the rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. So the earth, you know, is in servitude to these people, man. You know, showing you how high the Most High has exalted, all right, this man in the earth. You see, and that's why his fall, you know, is going to be so great. Now, I want to get that quote. And this is from Mayor Amschel Rothschild. It says, give me control of a nation's money supply, and I care not who makes it who makes its laws. You know, so these elites, you know, they're all about controlling the currencies of all these nations. To see what they're trying to do now is combine all these currencies together, and that's why, you know, people are finna see the crash of a global, you know, economic crash. Because if the dollar crash, everything crashes, man. Because everything's attached, you know, to the dollar. Now, I'm gonna jump back into the article. Now this is in 1769. It says Mayor Hampshire Rothschild is given permission by Prince William to hang a sign on the front of his business premises declaring that he is a M.A. Rothschild by appointment court factor to His Serene Highness Prince William of Hainaut. Now this is 1770. It says Mayor Hampshire Rothschild draws up a plan for the creation of the Illuminati and entrusts Ashkenazi's Jew Adam Weishaupt, Weishaupt, a crypto Jew, and crypto means hidden. All right, and what they do, they have a lot of their, it's a lot of people, that's a part of these elite families that's in different positions, but they don't have, on file, they're not attached to these elite families, but they are groomed and put in particular positions, in the earth. All right, because that word crypto just means hidden, in the Greek. All right, so it says a crypto Jew who was outwardly Roman Catholic, so they'll put somebody as prime minister of this, or head of this organization, or head of this, or head of that, but they be crypto, all right, 48ers, man. It says with this organization and development, the Illuminati is to be based upon teaching the Talmud, which is in turn the teaching of a rabbinical Jews. It was to be called the Illuminati, as this is the Luciferian term, which means keepers of light. Now, that word Lucifer is not, a bad word. It just means light bearer, and it's not speaking of the spiritual demon Satan. It's just a term, used, for the Illuminati. Now, you brothers had anything? You got one comment?
Yeah,
All right. Come on with it, Anna.
This is a WAC 10:8. It said because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Yep. And we living in that translation, because we see this man is losing his grip in the earth. You see, because now the spirit of truth is here and it's a resistance. Because this man has been able to rule in deception, without no resistance. But now the spirit of Yahweh Shai is here. This man's experienced resistance, in the earth. You got you had one, Karak?
God.
You got it, bro.
This is Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. He should speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they should be given into his hand until a time and times, the dividing of time.
Yep. So going back, is always talking about giving into his hand, because he had the minds of the earth, man. Everyone in the earth was entangled, by his enchantments, man. But going back to those times, all right, and the time and the dividing time, that goes back to those same 350 years in the book, Revelation, the 11th chapter, those 3 days and a half, so from the time, that he brought the bulk, of Jake over here to the Western Hemisphere, to the Americas in 1619 until 1769, when all right, Elder Albert Bivens, began preaching Hawashai. All right, what happened? All right, the spirit, truth of prophecy came into the earth, man, and it freed the minds of the elect, man. Because we gotta understand what people believe in is the seed planted, starting with these bankers, man, especially with the Illuminati, which we're gonna get it. And you're not. You still there, bro? Okay. Get 2 Corinthians 4 and 3. I'm gonna read a little bit more, and we're gonna get that 2 Corinthians 4 and 3, and then we're gonna get ready to segue to this other article. So this is jumping to 1776, which we know May 1st, 1776 is the year, of the origin, of the Illuminati Committee, and this is supposed to be, the most, the creme de la creme, all right, of these Edomites when it comes to being, their thinkers, this is their think tank, and it said, now this is 1776. It says Adam, all right, Weishaupt officially completes his organization of the Illuminati on May 1st, all right, of this year. The purpose of the Illuminati is to divide the Goyim, all right. When you hear Goyim, it's talking about all people, that are not, or their elite class, man, or those Amalek, man, Amalekites. And it says through political, economic, social, and religious means, the opposing sides were to be armed and incidents were to be provided in order for them to fight amongst themselves, destroy national government, destroy religious institutions, and eventually destroy each other, man. And that's where you get this media propaganda, the false flags, these false boogeymen, all that is to sow discord, amongst the masses, man. Because the masses are always constantly fighting amongst one another, no one else comes together and points this guy out as being the problem, man. You see? And this man has divided, countries. That's why you got North Korea, South Korea. This man has divided, households, the feminist movement. You see, what you got today, men going their own way. See, all this was started, by seeds planted, by these Illuminati, all right, individuals, man. These Edomites, man, they planted these different seeds that caused division throughout the earth, man. They funded the feminist movement, man. Even going back to the 1860s, what they call women's suffrage, they funded it, man. We gonna touch on that a little bit in the next part. Now it says Weishaupt soon infiltrates the Continental Order of Freemasons with their Illuminati doctrine and establishes lodges of the Grand Orient to be their secret headquarters. This was all under the orders of finance of Mayor Amschel Rothschild, and the concept has spread and is followed within Masonic lodges worldwide, all right, to present day. Now, as you keep reading, because all this man has done is constantly just infiltrate everything, man. And he has the money, to buy people out, man. It says use. All right, hold on. Let me jump down. It said Weishaupt also recruits 2,000 paid followers. Hold on. Let me go back. All right, it says Weishaupt also recruits 2,000 paid followers, including the most intelligent men in the field of arts and letters, education, science, finance, and industry. They were instructed to follow the following methods in order to control people. It said use monetary and sex bribery to obtain control of men already in high places. And we know a lot of, Israelite men, have failed for their monetary, and access, to different women. All right, to what? Sell out, man. A lot of our people have taken this, man. All right, it says in the various levels of all governments and other fields of endeavor. It said once influential persons had fallen for lies, deceits, and temptations of the Illuminati, they were to be held in bondage by application of political and other forms of blackmail, threats of financial ruin, public exposure, and fiscal harm. Yeah, and we see that, man. Hey, because you see what happened when Nick Cannon, got out of line, man. All right, they made him buy down, man. Because he knew that these people had the power to financially ruin them, man, to ruin him. You know, and this is how they keep these politicians and governors, and you know, because they don't need to sell out. You know, they don't need every individual to sell out. No, they just need to infiltrate the heads of all these different, you know, organizations, you know, in the earth, man. You see? And this is how, you know, they been able, you know, to forward, all right, a mindset in the earth, man, to push this mindset in the earth because they sell out the top. All right. They don't need, you know, they just need the head of the FDA to sell out. They just need the head of OSHA to sell out. They just need the head, you know, of education to sell out, you know, and then they can utilize and manipulate them to what, man, push their agenda, all right, in these different, you know, sects of society, man. You know? So this is how these people move, man. They buy the head, you know, and push their agenda from the top, you know. And it said the faculties of colleges and universities were to cultivate students possessing exceptional mental ability, belonging to well-bred families with international learnings, and recommended them for special training in internationalism, or rather the notion that only a one world government can put an end to recurring wars and strife. Such training was to be provided by granting scholarship to those selected by the Illuminati. Yeah, so these colleges, you know, is nothing but recruitments, you know, really they trying to add people to their think tanks, you know, and that's why you got, you know, the in high school, the valedictorian, you know, the cum laude in college. They're trying to filter out, you know, the best thinkers, you know, to add, you know, to their agenda, you know, of mass manipulation, man. You know? So yeah, brother, get that that Corinthian. Yep. Then for any other brother got something to get. All right, go ahead, bro.
Start at 3.
Yeah, start at 3.
This is 2 Corinthians 4:3. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the Most High of this, in whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them.
Yeah, say the God of this world. And speaking of these elites, man, because we just read how they infiltrate religion, like the Christianity that our people believe, you know, is nothing but an indoctrination, you know, from the higher ups, man, from the serpent. You see, it's an enchantment. And that's why a lot of our people can't receive the gospel, because they're under, you know, an enchantment, man. You know, and it begins with who? The guys of this world, the elites, man, because they have infiltrated. All right, the history you learn in school, the, you know, the curriculum you learn in college, the, you know, the every Sunday school sermon, all right, is nothing but an extension, you know, of an indoctrination of the elites, man. You know, you got it, bro. You got it, now.
This Psalms, I get straight to the point. This Psalms 73 and 12. Is that, behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world, they increase in riches.
Yep.
That's
it. Read again. Yeah, read again, bro. Yeah, I'm trying to copy it.
Yeah, but this on Psalm 73 and 12. It said, behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world, they increase in riches.
Yep, the ungodly that prosper in this world and increase in riches. You know, speaking of who, man, Esau Edom, because this man, you know, see, this is what everyone on earth is trying to do now. Everyone wants to live how they want to live and be prosperous. You know, everyone is following this man. That's why Scripture say, envy not the wicked and choose none of his ways. People want to live how they want to live and be prosperous like Esau. You know, Esau really is a big stumbling block, you know, that the Most High set in the earth, man, and see how people are falling for it, you know. But they don't understand it's a token. I mean, it's a judgment for this guy. Matter of fact, I'll get that in I think Job 21 and 29, bro. Yep.
Hey, I got one too after the brother.
Okay, come for sure, bro. Yep.
This is Job 21 and 29. Have ye not asked them that go by the way, and do ye not know their tokens? That the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction, it shall be brought forth to the day of wrath.
Yep. So our people don't understand this part of the story, that this nigga reserved, you know, for destruction, man. All right, and he gonna be brought forth to wrath. So yeah, he has had his season of prospering his wickedness, but there's a judgment to come. But see, our people have envied the ways of the wicked, man, and chosen his ways, man. You know, and they want to live how they want to live and be prosperous. It don't work like that, man. Esau just received, all right, a window, all right, to do a thing before that judgment come, man. You know, so what I did was, you know, for you brothers and sisters that want to read the rest of the article, you know, got some pretty good information. Like I said, you got a few bones in there you got to pick out, you know, but I just put the link to the article, you know, in case y'all wanted to continue reading. You know, we're going to go into another article, you know, after the brother, you know, get his precept. Hey, but you got it, bro.
Yeah, hey, I was just gonna say also, man, that's why on this side, man, you have to be wicked in order to, you know, succeed, you know, because hey, like we read the first scripture, Job 9 and 24, you know,
Yep.
earth is given to the hand of the wicked, man. You gotta follow Esau way, you know. That's the only way to make it.
Yep.
But this is Isaiah 47 and verse 10. It says, "For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else besides me." You know, this guy think he think he's some kind of guy for real, man. You know,
Yeah.
the Lord set him up. He set him up. All right. Yeah.
I got
you.
Yeah. Okay. Come. Yeah. Yeah. Because see, Esau prides himself on being able to deceive people, but not knowing he's the most deceived. You know, he's the most deceived in the earth, man. You know. But yeah, you got so
yeah, I got a few. This is 2 Timothy 3 and 13, just because of the point that you just made. It says, "But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived."
Yep.
And the reason why
you got slug. Go ahead.
I was going to say the reason why they wax worse and worse, and it says they're being deceived, like it says deceiving and also being deceived, is because, you know, this is the only lie that they're banking off of, you know. So they trust harder and harder into a false hope, you know. And you know, like you were going into how, you know, all the different institutions and doctrines and, you know, false religions were set up, you know, basically by the Illuminati, you know, and have groomed deceivers, you know, false prophets by generation and generation, where, you know, you go into these churches and they believe these false doctrines themselves. That's why it's so convincible, is because, you know, you're believing a man that's also deceived, you know?
Yeah.
And let's see, this is also Sirach 10 and 2. It says, "As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein." You know, that's just going into how, you know, people, you know, Jake, that envy their oppressors. You know, the only way that they can get stuff like them is to start acting like them, you know? That's why wickedness is on a high level, is because wickedness is in the top seat. So, it follows rank, But this is Mark 8:36. It says, "For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?" That's, that's plain. Like we were going into how Jake, wants to try to escape these curses, but even in doing so, you're selling out your morals. You have to go contrary to what's written in the law, statutes, and commandments. Even on the simple things like getting money. The scriptures say that the root of the love of money is the root of all evil. You have to sell out being content with the lifestyle that you have, and give into that greed demon. And that's the start of wickedness adding on top of itself. Let's see, I had one more. This is Wisdom of Solomon 4:3. This is going in on envying thy oppressor too. It says, "But the multiplying brood of the ungodly shall not thrive, nor take deep rooting from the bastard's lips, nor lay any fast foundation. For though they flourish in branches for a time, yet standing not last, they shall be shaken with the wind, and through the force of the winds they shall be rooted out. The imperfect branches shall be broken off, their fruit unprofitable, not right to eat, meat for nothing." So,
what scripture that was, bro?
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 4.
Man, that's heavy. Hey, because it said they fruit shall not be right to eat, and that's those doctrines. And you see, the doctrine of the devil is filling the earth, man. Hey, because that fruit that Eve took, hey, it's destroying her. She's miserable now. She has made herself useless through the fruit of the serpent, man. Nigger culture, voting, politics. Hey, because even I say Christianity, man, that's part of the fruit of the serpent, man. This plantation Christianity, and it's not right to eat. Because here it is, you a 40-year Christian, but you don't know anything about the Bible, man. You couldn't answer 10 of the simplest questions, but you've been eating that fruit for 40 years, man. Yeah, that's a heavy precept. Read again, bro.
Yeah, current. This is Wisdom of Solomon 4. You want me to start at 3 again?
The last part about the fruit not right, bro.
Okay, verse 5. It says, "The imperfect branches shall be broken off, their fruit unprofitable, not right to eat, meat for nothing."
Meat for nothing, man. You can't run a society based on this man's fruit, man. All right, the alphabet people, transformers, pedophilia. You see,
democracy.
Synthetic meat. You got Bill Gates talking about synthetic meat. Jabbing people up. You can't run a society off that, man. If this man was to continue to stay in power, this man will kill everything, man. That's why the Most High has to speed up the time, and Yahweh Shai has to intervene, because this man will destroy everything, including himself, man. His doctrine has been found good for nothing, man. Everything about this man has been found good for nothing, man. That's why it's going to be a time period where he will be completely eradicated, because he brings nothing to the earth but death. That's the only thing this nigga has brought to the earth is death, man. He brought in every fashion of life, man. How it is, God tells us to be fruitful and multiply, but this nigga give you STDs, man. What has this man brought? The scripture tell you that the joy of a man, is to eat and drink, all right, and enjoy the work of his hands. Well, this man has destroyed what you eat. Here it is, you eating things that don't even break down in you, man. So everything that the Most High set up to enjoy, this man has turned into some type of form of death, man. You know?
Yeah, like the scripture that says, like, hate not laborious works, neither husbandry, because the Most High hath ordained it. Like you said, you know, there's beauty in hard work, because you know, after you finish a project, you know, you can enjoy the fruits of your labor. But, you know, with Esau in charge, you don't get to enjoy the fruits of your labor, you know, and it makes it vexing, you know.
Yep.
Subject to payments, you get your, you know, weekly check, and it's already going out to 5 different places or what have you. But
then he get his off top.
Yeah.
You had some or not?
I got a precept.
Got some Karat. Okay, yeah, get your Karat, and then now you get yours. We're gonna get to the other article.
This is Psalms chapter 104, verse 35. It said, let the sinner be consumed out of the earth, and let the wicked be no more.
Yep. The man gonna be through. He's not needed. This nigga is not needed, man. All right, but you still have niggas, all right, that you can't peel off Esau. And we know Eve, you know, that's her boo thing, man. You know, she's all with this man's agenda, man. But the Most High is getting ready to cut this nigga out of power, and we can't wait till the day, you know, that this nigga's eradicated, man.
That's
you
right.
know. You got it, bro.
This Wisdom Solomon 2:24 just backing you up when you said you know, he basically brought death, you know, to the world. That's all he knows, death.
Yep.
So this Wisdom of Solomon 2:24. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they through hold of his side do find it.
Yep. And then how did he bring death? You know, by bringing that bullshit ass way to Eve. All right, Eve fell for it, brought it back to Adam, and that was it, man. That was the fall of the sons of God, man. Yep. You know, going all the way back to the serpent, man. It's the same spirit, you know, that's within these people today, man. And we see, you know, really that spirit is heavy within the heads of Esau, Edom, you know, dealing with Amalek. You know, he's very crafty, you know, with his wickedness, man. But he dresses up like it's the best thing going, like there's nothing better, man. You know, that same spirit, ye shall not surely die. You know. So yeah, let me get this article. Now this is from Rasta Livewire. It says the Rothschild bankers, the Freshfield slavers, and the rise of capitalism in the Britain and Americas. All right, and it says the Rothschilds, bankers, the Freshfield slavers, and the rise of capitalism in the Britain and in the Britain and America, the slaving enterprise of the British Empire. It says, according to the Financial Times of London, June 26, 2009, two of the biggest names in the city of London had previously undisclosed links to slavery in the British colonies, which, you know, the British colonies originated those 13 colonies, you know, on the East Coast. You know, that's why you had that slave ship come to what? Jamestown, Virginia. You know, it was one of those British colonies. You know, it's a document seen by the Financial Times had revealed Nathan Mayer Rothschild, the banking family's 19th century patriarch, and James William Freshfield, founder of the Freshfields, a top city law firm, benefited financially from slavery. Records from the National Archives records from the National Archives show, even though both have often portrayed as opponents of slavery. Yeah, because they pushed as if Nathan Rothschild, you know, he was also behind the slave, you know, prohibition, like slave abolitionist movement, you know, as if he was, you know, pro-abolishment of slavery. No, he was just ready to make private slaves corporate slaves, you know. So they've been behind the scene, like these niggas been behind the scene manipulating, you know, history, all right, but they'll push it within the media if it's as if it's something else, as if it's something righteous, man. You know, I say because you had that and showing you that they use the same formula because you go back to the 1860s, you know, after the Civil War, during the Civil War, after the Civil War, what you had, you know, you had the abolitionist movement, you know, which was funded by the Rothschilds, so-called abolishing slavery, and at the same time you had women's suffrage, you know, which was pushing for women's liberation and equality. Now you fast forward 100 years later, all right, what did you have? You had the so-called civil rights movement and what? The feminist movement. You see? So these men, they use the same agenda and tactics. They just patiently wait these things out, man. You know? And it says, so going back into it, it says it said these families who are presently the ruling global trillionaires family, all right, were probably the biggest slavers of all time in global history. But their participation in the evil and illegal trade was always suppressed until recently. In fact, historical accounts have been misrepresented to showcase the anti-slavery efforts of the ruling elites. You see? So this man is caught red-handed, man. You know, they say these the biggest slavers of all time in global history, man. The Rothschild and the Freshfield family, man. You know? So these elites, all right, are the mastermind, all right, are the mastermind behind a lot of wickedness, you know, against our people, man. Matter of fact, you know, I get Zechariah 11:5, and y'all can get Baruch 4 and get Baruch 4. But yeah, you got
this is Zechariah chapter 11 verse 5. Whoso possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that say and sell that them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not.
Yep. And we have you see their biggest, you know, their biggest come up, you know, mainly was the slave trade, man, because human resources are the most, you know, valuable thing on earth is human resources, man. You know? And they made a killing, all right, off of what, man? You know, that slave trade, man. You see? So they're linked to being the biggest, all right, slave traders globally, man. You know? Yeah, you got that Yakanan, you bring it up.
You said Baruch 4
and 26.
26?
Yeah, 4:26.
All right, this is Baruch 4 and 26. It says, my delicate ones have gone rough ways.
Yep.
And were taken away as a flock caught of the enemies.
Yeah, as a flock caught of the enemies, man. And that's what we were. You know, we was caught of the enemies. You see? And we went those rough ways going into that middle passage. All right. So the elite, these Rothschilds, you know, they funded, you know, putting us on them boat, them cargo slave ships, and shipping us over here, man. That horrific ride over here, man. You know, Jake crammed up on one another. You had that bacteria. Jake, you know, using the bathroom on themselves, man. Old feces and urine, and you know, nobody able to take baths, man. You just crammed up like actual, you know, goods. You see, they funded it, man. Those rough ways that our people went, man. You know, our people probably dying for just passing out from the smell. You see, you know, all type of infections, but that's what our people went through, man. Under who, man? The financing of these bankers, man. You know, Karab, you had something?
Yeah.
Go ahead. And Zahab, get Jeremiah. Start at 9 and we'll read through. But yeah, you got it, Karab.
This is Nahum chapter 3, verse 1. Woe unto the bloody city, it is full of lies and robbery.
Go ahead.
And the prey departeth not.
Yep. And who to pray? You know, we would pray. Woe to the bloody city that's full of lies and robbery, and the prey departeth not. You know, and this place is full of lies and robbery. They stole people. You know, we were stolen. You know, and brought here and sold. You see, we was the biggest lick that these elites hit. You know, was Jake, man. All right. So let me read some more, and then we're gonna get that Jeremiah 50 and 9, and then we'll get Joel 3, and then that'll be all I have. You know, we get ready to close up in a minute. But let me get back into the article. All right. It says Nathan Mayer Rothschild, all right, was the leading London financier of his time. Now, you had accounts say that when the slave, you know, trade ended, that the Britain government, you know, went into bankruptcy. All right, but guess who bailed them out? Your boy, old Nathan. Goddamn, Nathan was a motherfucker, boy. That boy bailed out the whole British government out his own pocket, man. You know. So I say he the one that funded, you know, the abolition of slavery, which put the British government in debt, and then he went and you know, out his own finances, you know, he brought them out of debt, man. So now they subject to him. You know, I say these banking families, how you know the left hand working heavy with them, man, because they made some power moves in the earth, man. You know, it said he was one of the founders of the International Rothschild banking family dynasty. He was born in Frankfurt am Main Ghetto, the fourth child of Mayer Amschel Rothschild and Godo Schnapper. He ostensibly operated first as a textile merchant in the Manchester, but was deeply involved in financing, loan sharking, and speculation on the slave trade and exchange on Manchester, a British city which competed with Liverpool and London as the international capital of slave trade. It says, having made so much profit from slave trade and financing in the Manchester Slave Exchange, he then expanded to dealing on the London Stock Exchange. From 1809, Rothschild began to deal in gold bullion exploited from Africa and South Africa. He also speculated in financial instruments such as foreign bills and government securities related to such ventures as the theft of entire countries. All right, as the theft of entire countries and their resources. Later, euphemistically, all right, described as Colin colonialism, you know, what they call colonization, man. You know, which really the elites have colonized the whole earth, man. But these men is known, you know, for stealing countries, man. You know, like Jake think they be hitting licks, like no, nigga. You know, Esau hits crazy licks, man. This nigga steal a whole country, man. That's why scripts talk about how the chariot gonna enter into the house of the thief, man. You know, speaking of Esau, beginning with these elites, it says when he died in 1836 due to an infected abscess, and this most I showed you that these are just men. All right, here it is, this nigga that stole whole countries, you know, and got all these, you know, money and, you know, resources. Then this nigga died of a abscess, man. A damn infected abscess, man. Most I showing you that this nigga is just a man. You see? It said he has secured the position of the Rothschilds, the permanent investment bankers in British and Europe. His son, Lionel Nathan Rothschild, continued the family business in England. The financial empire of the Rothschild dynasty still exists in all its fullest power, sway, and influence even today. All right? And it says, yep. And it says, I think probably be it. You know, like I said, this is a good read too. You know, I read most of this before. You know, like I said, if you brothers and sisters want to read the rest of it, you know, I left the link, but it broke it up in 2 parts. So I don't know if it let you click on it. You know, but it's on roster. Look at roster Livewire. You know, and mainly you can go to Google and just type in, you know, Nathan, you know, Rothschild, transatlantic slave trade, you know, and then it'll pull up different articles. But the one on roster Livewire is the one I'm reading now, you know. But you brothers had anything before we get these 2 closing precepts?
Yeah, I had one.
Go ahead, brother.
All right, this is Habakkuk 2:5. It says, yea, also, but he transgressed by wine. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. Who enlargeth? You was gonna say something about?
No, I was just saying.
All right, it says, who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
Yep. And this man does that by deception and debt. You know, go ahead.
All right, verse 6. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that laddeth himself with thick clay.
Yep. So this is the spirit that's in the earth. How long will this man be able to rule the earth like this, man? He just gets to come invade, you know, take resources, manipulate governments, and, you know, and that's the spirit that's in the earth. How long? You know, but it all leads, you know, to this man being overthrown. You know, everything leads to this man being overthrown, as we're going to read, you know, because even you keep reading Habakkuk, you know, it'll go into, you know, all these nations, rising up against this man, you know. That was it, bro.
Yeah, that was it, bro.
Okay. Water. All right. Get that. Okay, you got it, bro.
This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 10:4. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable.
Yep. And this man has not, you know, been profitable at all, man. You know, this is the worst case scenario on earth, man. You know, everything is so low grade under this man's rulership, man. He has heaped everything to himself, you know, and and gave the earth the scraps, man. Hey, because 85% of the world's wealth every year goes to 1% of the population, man. And then the other 99% of the earth splits the other 15% of the wealth, man. You know, this man has really created a earth that's so imbalanced, you know, when it comes to wealth distribution, man. And that's why you have people, you know, scrapping, you know, over that 15% that's remaining, man. You know, you had some, Karak?
Come.
You got it, bro.
This is Psalms 58:10. The righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance, and he shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked.
Yep. And that's gonna be the day, man. When this man is taken out of power, you know, that's gonna be such a relief, man. You know, such a relief to the earth, to people, you know, mainly to the elect of Israel, because 2/3 gonna be out of here. You know, they gotta go take their time out. All right, but man, it's just gonna be such a relief, you know, when this man is put out of power, man. You know, and if you don't hate this rulership in this society, you part of the problem, man. You know, but yeah, you got you got that Jeremiah.
Come on. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence shall she be broken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expertman.
Yeah, so
in vain.
Yep, and then those arrows talking about those missiles. So now listen to how about Shimon Shah is finna tie this thing in. He starts off talking about war, the nuclear missiles, and you know, they as a mighty expert, man, which means every missile gonna hit a particular target and destroy. You know, because we know America gonna be turned to a complete desert. There's gonna be nothing remaining, you know, that reminds you of America. It's gonna be a desert, you know, as if America never existed. All right. So he's talking about this great destruction, you know, but watch how he takes it back, man. Go ahead.
And Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord.
Yep. Go ahead.
Because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass, and below as bulls.
Yeah, so, yeah, because you rejoice, because you destroyed my heritage, all right, because Israel is the Lord's inheritance in the earth. We are his inheritance, man, you know? So Esau destroyed our inheritance, you know, because we know through the transatlantic slave trade, man, that's what their residue that we had of who we were, knowing who we were, that was beaten out of us, man. And then it said you have grown fat. Esau grew fat, you know, off what, man? The Lord's heritage, man. You know, he really pimped out the Most High's woman. He just, you know, he took us on the whole scroll, man. You see? So Most High, like, look, you got fat off my inheritance, man. That's why I'm gonna take you off the map, man. You see? And we reading the actual records and the accounts of how they got fat, man. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll probably end it there, you know, because we can get going on and on. It's a lot, you know, when you talk about this nigga, you know, it's a never ending story. But yeah, we'll end it there. You brothers had anything else, man? You know? Okay, come. End it there. I said, Lord will, you know, you few sisters, you know, but yeah, man, this man has became very rich, you know, off our downfall, man. You know, and these same people rule the earth, man. All these agendas that we see going forth in the earth, you know, is forwarded, you know, by the elites, man. And that's why, you know, the Most High, all right, through Yahweh Shai is coming directly to Esau Edom, man, because he's the mastermind behind this wickedness that we see in the earth, you know. So I said, Lord willing, you brothers, you few sisters edified, you know, until next time, you know, we say Shalom, Kwam Yashala, you know, Bob, you know, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Shai, you know, Kwam Yashala, Bob.